Here are the top stories for today, September 27, 2019. The DOJ plans to top the Interpol in going after Manila's alleged drug queen, Gia Gomez Castro. A ranking official slams as hypocrisy a resolution by left-leaning lawmakers seeking to probe alleged human rights violations. Malacanang calls on all sectors to work together to solve the traffic congestion in Metro Manila. And DOH maintains that the Philippines remains certified as polio-free. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Our top story for today, the Department of Justice has issued an immigration lookout bulletin order against the alleged drug queen, Gia Gomez Castro. Justice Menardo Guevara on Friday issued the memo in order to monitor Castro's flight itineraries and whereabouts abroad. The DOJ earlier said that they can request the Interpol to monitor Castro after the issuance of the lookout order. Castro, who was a former chairwoman in Sampaloc, Manila, was accused of buying recycled illegal drugs from rogue police. Castro left the country on September 21st on board a Cebu Pacific flight bound for Bangkok, Thailand. Meanwhile, Interior Secretary Eduardo Año on Thursday called on Castro to return to the country and face the allegations against her. Año said the DILG will file an administrative case against Castro, who served as chairwoman of Barangay 484, Zone 48 in Sampaloc, Manila. Malacanang said that the so-called Ninja Cop Syndicate, or those involved in the recycling of seized illegal drugs, have already been dismantled and is now a thing of the past. More on this from Teresa Montemayor.
Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said PNP Chief General Oscar Albayalde bared this after briefing President Rodrigo Duterte on the status of the campaign against illegal drugs.
He updated the president on the status of the drug war. He told him about the so-called Ninja Cop Syndicate and revealed to the president that that Ninja Cop Syndicate is a thing of the past that happened during the previous years of the previous administration. That has been dismantled during the term of former PNP Chief General, now Senator Ronald De La Rosa, and during his term.
Panelo said while the Ninja Cop Syndicate has been wiped out, police scalawags remain.
If you're referring to the Ninja Cop that was a syndicate during the previous administration, yes. But we have police scalawags still involved in the drug thing. Ang difference daw is yung Ninja Cop it was a syndicate. Sindikato. Kung baga talagang may conspiracy. May mga link ang bawat isa. Pero itong mga police scalawags, kanya-kanyang kita. Kung baga mga individual cases.
In a speech at the Golden Topper corporate launch in Parañaque City, Duterte warned police officers against participating in the illegal drug trade or risk their early demise.
But there are some people, like policemen, you have to beg, then they are at it again, and they sell drugs, and they go scot-free, and they think that they are the lords of this country. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, everybody dies in this world, but you will go ahead first. Remember that.
Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police on Thursday said a total of 762 policemen are being monitored for their alleged links to illegal drug activities. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde said that the cops being monitored are either involved in the recycling of illegal drugs or under the payroll of illegal drug syndicates operating in the country. He said it is up to the President to decide on the list of ninja cops submitted by the PNP. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, on Thursday said the recent study by the Asia Development Bank, which tagged Metro Manila as the most congested city in Asia, is based on facts. The MMDA said the congestion in Metro Manila is the result of many factors, including overpopulation and lack of an organized road network based on figures from the ADB's Asian Development Outlook 2019. Metro Manila was found to be the most congested natural city in Asia. After Metro Manila, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia was ranked the second most congested city, followed by Yangon City in Myanmar. MMDA spokesperson Celine Pialago said the MMDA attempts to control vehicular traffic on the streets, but congestion was merely a result of overcrowding in the capital, among many other factors. In a palace briefing, spokesperson Sal Panelo said that the executive branch needs cooperation with other branches of government to ease traffic congestion in Metro Manila. Panelo said he was hopeful that the San Miguel Corporation's plan to build a 10-lane elevated expressway that would run the length of EDSA would ease traffic in Metro Manila.
Kailangan kasi all branches must cooperate with each other. Hindi pa pwedeng isang branch lang ng gobyerno ang mamamahala at tutugon sa pangangailangan ng mga kababayan natin. Otherwise, talagang mahirapan. Gaya ng sinabi ko sa inyo, yung proposal ni Mr. Ramon lang, maganda yan. Pag nagawa niya yun in 2 years, walang traffic ang EDSA.
As China marked its 70th founding anniversary with a list of milestones it achieved over the last 7 decades, Chinese Ambassador Zhao Jianhua said Beijing would continue sharing the benefits of their progress with partners, including the Philippines. During his speech at the reception of the People's Republic of China anniversary in Makati, Ambassador Zhao Jianhua said that China is committed to sharing the benefits of development with the Philippines. He said that China is now the Philippines' top trading partner, the largest source of imports and exports market, as well as the second largest tourist source. Zhao also noted the considerable progress made in synergizing the Belt and Road Initiative and the Build, Build, Build program of the Philippines. Meanwhile, Malacanang dismissed on Thursday as speculation the statement of Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio that China could try to reclaim Scarborough Shoal within President Rodrigo Duterte's term. Panelo said there is no way to tell what China could do, but assured that the Philippines would continue to assert its sovereignty over the disputed waters.
Gaya na sinasabi ni Presidente, I will not allow during my incumbency any assault on our sovereignty. That arbitral ruling is final, binding, and not subject to appeal. Anything that will go against the arbitral ruling would be, of course, objectionable for us.
Why is this?
I think that's a given. Because we are against any intrusion into the sovereign affairs of the land.
The Philippine National Police noted a rise in the number of gambling-related kidnapping among foreigners, and the Philippine Military Academy appointed 2 new officers. More on this from Janice Cabe.
The Philippine National Police Anti-Kidnapping Group has arrested 132 foreigners, mostly Chinese, in connection with gambling-related kidnapping cases in the country. Arrested were 119 Chinese, 2 Malaysians, 4 Koreans, and 7 Filipinos. AKG spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Elmer Sereno attributed these to the rise in the number of hotel and casino leisure facilities in the Philippines, which eventually attracted many foreigners to the country. In other news, the Commission on Higher Education on Thursday signed a Memorandum of Agreement with the Office of the Ombudsman and the University of the Philippines System to promote an anti-corruption program for the youth. The program aims to promote and safeguard the public interest, educate the youth, and instill ethical and moral standards in universities and colleges nationwide. Meanwhile, newly appointed AFP Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Noel Clement on Thursday said 2 military officers will head the Philippine Military Academy in acting capacity. Rear Admiral Alan Cusi will be appointed as acting PMA Superintendent next week, while Brigadier General Romeo Bronner will be appointed as acting Corps of Cadets Commandant. Cusi will replace Lieutenant General Ronnie Evangelista, while Bronner is taking over the post of Brigadier General Bartolome Vicente Bacaro, who both resigned in the wake of the maltreatment incident that led to the death of Cadet 4th Class Darwin Dormitorio. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Still to come, a ranking official slams as hypocrisy a resolution by left-leaning lawmakers seeking to probe alleged human rights violations. And the Philippines prepares to resume exports of poultry products to South Korea. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Nandito para manghingi ng pera. Mapakahirap po para sa amin na mag-travel ng sobrang layo. Hirap-hirap po kami mag-English. Hirap-hirap kami mag-Tagalog. Okay lang kung Bisaya. Delikado sa aming buhay, pero hindi. Hindi kami mananahin. Ito na yung pagkakataon para isiwalat namin ang lahat. Ngayon na yung tamang oras para sabihin namin po ano yung totoo na ginagawa sa amin sa PNP. Yung lahat ng struggle sa aming community, yun yung nagbigay ng lakas sa amin para isiwalat na. Kasi gusto na namin mamuhay ng payapa sa amin sa struggle niya. Pero hindi nagkait sa amin. Doon kami kumukuha ng resources. Pero yung resources na yun, wala na. Nandun na yung sa PNP. Nagawa na nila yung guerrilla base ang aming struggle niya. Alam niyo po yung laban ngayon, talagang kami hindi kami mahiya. Kung kayo nga, sinasuportahan niyo kami sa aming laban, para sa aming laban, mas lalo pa kami bukas. Kaya maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Kaya maganda yung kanilang ginagawa. At least malaman ng buong mundo na sila ay ginagamit lang ng mga taong ito.
Bilang isang Pilipina na nakatira na dito sa Germany, na tulungan, suportahan ko kung ano ang hinihingi nila, na ikalat talaga natin ito sa mga organisasyon dito na tumutulong sa Pilipinas na hindi nila alam kung ano talaga ang purpose, kung saan napunta ang pera nilang tinutulong doon sa mga palibhasa, kuno doon sa mga mahihirap, pero napunta lang pala doon sa maling kamay.
The National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict described House Resolution number 374 as the height of hypocrisy. The resolution, introduced by Gabriela Women's Party List and other members of the MAKABAYAN bloc, directs the House Committee on Human Rights and Committee on the Welfare of Children to conduct an investigation on the documented cases of grave child rights violation under the current administration. NTF ELCAC Chief Major General Antonio Parlades said he finds it ironic that all the abuses cited are the same as those being raised by the indigenous peoples against the CPP-NPA and its allies. He scored Gabriela, Karapatan, Bayan Muna, Kabataan, National Union of People's Lawyers, and other front organizations of the CPP for doing nothing on the issues being raised against them. These include the abuses committed by the communist rebels against the IPs, as well as missing students who were reportedly recruited by the communist rebel fronts. Parlades said resolution number 374 is ironic for condemning the use of armed children in conflicts as Salugpungan schools continue to churn out child warriors. He also mentioned the case of NPA rebel Alexa Pacalda, whom he said only wanted to surrender and have a chance for a better life, but was not able to do so because her surrender will greatly damage the CPP-NPA. Malacanang on Thursday said that President Duterte and U.S. President Donald Trump have a mutual admiration for each other. This as U.S. President Donald Trump is said to convey his regards to Duterte. In a September 25 tweet, Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. said Trump conveyed his regards to Duterte, whom he called Frank Sinatra. The U.S. President recalled Duterte's rendition of Ikaw during Manila's hosting of the ASEAN Summit in 2017. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the two leaders had the same leadership style, which is why they share respect for each other.
Let me tell you this. You know, if you recall, the style of the president was much earlier than Trump. Bago pa nagkaroon ng Trump, may Duterte na eh. Nagulat nga tayong lahat na ganun din ang style. O siyempre, pag ganyan pa rin yung style nyo, hindi meron kayong mutual admiration society.
The Philippine Cancer Society Incorporated on Wednesday awarded PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar as the most effective communicator during its charity event in Parañaque City. In his speech, the PCOO chief lauded the PSCI's advocacy to prevent the development of cancer through education, service, and research. Andanar thanked the organization for recognizing the work of the PCOO. Andanar received the special award during the Best Dressed Women of the Philippines 17th Annual Awards Ball, a fundraising activity of the PCSI held at the Okada, Manila. Meanwhile, to further increase public awareness on the right to access information, the PCOO will celebrate the International Day for Universal Access to Information Festival 2019 at the Cinematheque Center Film Development Council of the Philippines in Manila on Saturday. The festival will be held in partnership with the 2030 Youth Force Philippines. It will feature contests on essay writing, photography, spoken word poetry, and short film, which aims to unleash the creativity of every Filipino in advocating government transparency. Revenues from the train law rose 65% year-on-year to 55.6 billion pesos by the end of June. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III said the Bureau of Internal Revenue surpassed its target for the 6-month period by 1.8 billion pesos and the Bureau of Customs by 1.7 billion. In 2018, the government was able to collect 68.4 billion pesos from train, higher than the year's target of 63.3 billion. Meanwhile, Russia is eyeing new fields of trade and investment cooperation with the Philippines. Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade Alexei Gruzdev said they are focusing on pharmaceuticals and medical equipment, airport development, railways, and cooperation in the power sector. Gruzdev was in Manila from September 24 to 25 for a visit aimed to diversify trade and economic relations. And in other news, Korea is set to conduct an on-site inspection and accreditation of new poultry facilities in the Philippines following the resumption of chicken exports to South Korea. The accreditation comes more than 2 months after the lifting of the ban on the import of poultry and pet birds from the Philippines on July 4, 2019. A town in northern Samar is adopting new measures centering on the protection of the rights and welfare of children. More on this and other news from the provinces from Teresa Montemayor.
The capital town of Catarman, Northern Samar, is stepping up its children protection drive by legislating child-friendly policies. The Municipal Council for the Protection of Children drafted an ordinance providing for the local code for children. The code consists of basic principles and policies, definitions, enumeration of the rights of children under existing national and international laws, prohibited acts, and the penalties for violation of the code. The code is up for approval in November in time for the National Children's Month celebration. Meanwhile, the search is on for the 10 oldest living World War II veterans in Eastern Visayas. The search is one of the highlights of this year's 75th anniversary celebration of the Leyte Gulf landings on October 20, 1944. At least 17 veterans have already submitted their application for the search ahead of the deadline on September 30. The oldest veteran will receive 75,000 pesos cash prize, while the 9 runners-up are entitled to 25,000 pesos cash prize each. In other news, an official of the Philippine Military Academy Parents Association in Socsargen on Thursday appealed to put an end to hazing and other forms of violent initiations at the academy. Willie Ramos, PMPA Regional President, said the AFP should take decisive action to effectively stop hazing at the PMA as it has already cost a number of lives. He said they hope that the untimely death of the 20-year-old Darwin Dormitorio would result in real changes at the PMA. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
Up next, the DOH maintains that the Philippines remains certified as polio-free. And 14 teams compete in street dancing in Dumaguete City's Sandurot Festival. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders. The Philippines remains a polio-free country according to the Department of Health despite its re-emergence after 19 years. Health Undersecretary Rolando Domingo said the country has eradicated the naturally occurring polio virus while the 2 recent cases were vaccine-derived. Domingo added, there are only 2 confirmed cases in the country, one in Lanao del Sur and one in Calamba, Laguna. On September 19, the DOH declared the re-emergence of polio in the country, 19 years after the World Health Organization declared the Philippines polio-free. For its part, Malacanang said the DOH is doing everything it can to prevent the rise in vaccine-preventable diseases from spreading in the country. This came following reports that a 10-year-old girl in Manila died within hours after being diagnosed with diphtheria last September 20. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said Health Secretary Francisco Duque III has assured that his agency has got the situation under control. He said Duque will continue to ensure that free immunization will be given to all Filipinos. And in our foreign news, the U.S. Energy Information Administration reports that the weekly gasoline price increased by more than 10 US cents per gallon during the week ending September 23rd, the largest weekly growth in 2 years. This weekly increase was the largest since early September 2017, when the national average gasoline price rose 28 cents per gallon in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. U.S. gasoline prices tend to follow price movements of the global crude oil benchmark Brent. On September 16, following the attack on Saudi Arabia's key crude oil facilities, Brent crude oil prices increased by $7.17 per barrel, the largest single-day increase in Brent prices in the past decade. According to EIA analysis, about half of a crude oil price change passes through retail gasoline prices within 2 weeks. The Department of Energy, or DOE, assures that Manila's resolve in achieving a joint exploration deal with China without compromising Philippine sovereignty is unshakable. Energy Assistant Secretary Leonido Pulido III said that President Duterte ordered Secretary Alfonso Cusi to make sure that the sovereignty of the Philippines is respected. Pulido assured that the DOE's input on the discussion of energy security in the West Philippine Sea always has the country's sovereignty in mind. He stressed that the country needs energy exploration and that the area is within the Philippine sovereignty, which is why they are approaching this from a practical and legal perspective. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. earlier said the Philippines and China already set up an intergovernmental steering committee acting on a memorandum of understanding signed in 2018. Among the committee's priorities is to discuss the lifting of the 2013 ban on exploration and drilling activities in the West Philippine Sea. In continued efforts to help the residents of Marawi City, Task Force Bangon Marawi made government services available for Marawi and its neighboring towns through its ongoing Serbisyo Caravan. Sweet Lukman has the story.
Affected residents and rebel returnees availed themselves of the different government services and programs during the Kompas Barangay Information Serbisyo Caravan from various government line agencies. In line with the celebration of the National Peace Consciousness Month, the caravan led by Task Force Bangon Marawi's Information Management and Strategic Communication Support Group under the aegis of the Presidential Communications Operations Office and the Philippine Information Agency, sought to assist the affected communities in the recovery and rehabilitation process by facilitating an exchange of information among the internally displaced persons and by providing them with the needed services from the different TFBM member agencies. Meanwhile, the caravan is being supported by the 49th Infantry Battalion and the local government of Butig. Butig Mayor Dimnatang Pansar expressed his gratitude and joy when the different government line agencies converged to provide services for his constituents.
Napakasaya po. Nakikita rin natin yung mga tao, mga kababayan natin na talagang masaya sila. So masaya din kayo. Kaya kami ay nagpapasalamat lahat ng agency ng gobyerno na nandito ngayon.
It can be recalled that TFBM's rehabilitation and recovery projects, programs and services are not only for Marawi City, but for Piagapo and Butig towns as well. Since 2017, the Stratcom has been conducting serbisyo caravans to assist the affected communities in Marawi and its neighboring towns. For PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
Here are the latest events in our community billboard. Dumaguete City is holding the street dancing and grand showdown competitions of the Sandurot Festival on Saturday. 14 contingents will be competing for the top prizes starting at 3 p.m. around this city streets to culminate at the City Grand Quadrangle. Sandurot Festival is held every September to coincide with the observance of Tourism Month. Let's check out the weather forecast from Pag-asa. The low-pressure area, which developed into tropical depression this morning, is expected to enter the Philippine Area of Responsibility, or PAR, within 24 to 36 hours. The tropical depression will be named Onyok and may intensify into a tropical storm within the next 24 hours. Batanes group of islands will have cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, while the rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Tropical depression Onyok has already entered the Philippine Area of Responsibility. Batanes group of islands will have cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, while the rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. The DOJ plans to top the Interpol in going after Manila's alleged drug queen, Gia Gomez Castro. A ranking official slams as hypocrisy a resolution by left-leaning lawmakers seeking to probe alleged human rights violations. Malacanang calls on all sectors to work together to solve the traffic congestion in Metro Manila. And DOH maintains that the Philippines remains certified as polio-free. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And before we close for the week, and this is indeed the last Friday of September, remember that truly strong people bring others up, and truly powerful people bring people together. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.